Hopefulness 3.0, March 5th, 2026. So I'm going to try something here. I'm going to be setting you up on a table, on a chair. That's my first bread. And everything seems good so far. Because let me wash my hands at least. And the stability of that, despite its precariousness, seems fine. So we're going to keep going with that for now. Yeah, I got me some, oh yeah, it definitely is working. Okay, that was the test, the real big test that was going on here, was this going to have any body to it? It does indeed have body. Which means the yeast is working, which means it's not dead, that I didn't waste $10 on dead ass fucking yeast, because it took us 2 days to get 2 more days to get here than it was originally intended. It was supposed to get here on Tuesday morning, and it got here today, Thursday morning. So, 48 whole extra hours, and I was really scared that it might be dead, and I'm glad that it is not, in fact, dead. So I've let it auto-lyse for a while. It also took a while for me to test to see if the yeast would bloom, because what you do is you put it in a container, in warm water with sugar, and let it see if the yeast will activate. And that was also part of the reason why there was a little sketchiness, because the water I used was cold, because I used my filter that I've had for many, many years now. I got it in like 2017, maybe 2018, not sure exactly when. So I've had that for almost 10 years. It is a very good water pitcher. I like the filter system. So now, I had it sitting there warming up, and it was taking a while, so I stuck it in the microwave to warm up and hopefully not kill the yeast as well. And so now everything appears to be fine. So we wash my hands. Now it's covered in bread, basically, red dough. Problem with having hot water, even though I'm still going to use it, is that it will cause the proteins to tighten up and gluten to form, and so it'll be much more sticky, tough. But you know what? It's worth it, because now I know that I can make bread again. I'm thinking tonight I'm going to go back to Smart and Final. I'm probably going to go there. I don't know if I'm going to go, though, to be honest, because, like, holy shit. After yesterday, I feel beat the fuck up. I slept in for quite a while, even though I had my alarm set for 9 a.m. because I was supposed to have this meeting. I don't know if I was actually supposed to go to some facility, because it didn't show an address or anything. It said 9 a.m. and I didn't have any kind of like 9 a.m. phone call. So like all day I've been kind of looking at the clock, basically. Just waiting for this phone call to happen. It didn't happen, and now that it's past 5, I'm like, okay, well, offices are closed. Nobody's likely to call me. So my guess is it's probably going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. That's happened before. Not ideal, but it is what it is. I've got 4 of the large container lids that I put the bread in. Now I'm going to wash up those, because they've been sitting in storage for nearly 2 years. Some of the stuff I was like, what the hell is this thing? I have, I don't know if you can see it from there. I have this mason jar full of weird looking stuff. Turns out it just happens to be panko breadcrumbs, that's all. I was like, oh right. And this one over here, I was like, what the fuck is that? Because it's sugar listed, but it's not sugar, it's too powdery. And then I remembered, oh right, it's psyllium husk fiber. Because back in the day, you know, for a while now, like, ever since I saw this video from Hank Green, and I'll post it in a comment so people can watch it, but I saw him talk, you know, like really hyping up Metamucil, especially because he has, you know, like, shit, I can't remember the name of it anymore. What does Hank Green have? Shit, I think it starts with a C. I don't know. I can't remember the fucking name of it. God damn it. It's an intestinal disorder that I think is also an autoimmune issue. And so it causes him to poop all the time. But like in ways that are not good poops. You know, they're less comfortable, less productive, etc. And so he was hyping up Metamucil because it was helping him out. And I was like, well, most people don't get enough fiber. I probably don't get enough fiber. Let's get some fiber in me. I try it out, and I'm like, this is really good. Like, oops. Like, I like how it feels. I like the regularity of it. So I started doing it. And I was like, all right, so this stuff's expensive. How can I, you know, how can I get it and pay less money? So when I went on Amazon at one point and I bought whatever the hell brand it was, and it was like just this, I think is something like, you know, called something along those lines. And it was just the psyllium husk fiber, nothing else. And I gotta say, not impressed. Not the greatest. Less than ideal. The store brand version of Metamucil was better. And so I ended up mixing the two, and that's what is in that. And so I was like, all right, you know what? And I know my thought process at the time was basically, all right, let's use up enough of this so that I can mix two of them together, so at least mitigate the terribleness of the basic, you know, just psyllium husk stuff. Because the flavor helps, you know, I mean, whatever helps you get more fiber in your life is always good, for the most part. You know, unless you're starting a war, then you don't do that. Maybe figure, you know, maybe get some psyllium husk in your life, you know? Don't start a war, just get some psyllium husk. Eat more celery, whatever it happens, whatever the situation happens to be. The only problem with fucking doing all this hand washing is my back hurts every time I do it. It's so annoying. I think I'm going to be done for now. Just going to dry them off and throw in some olive oil and then start separating it out. That way I can put them in the fridge and then start getting ready to bake soon. Probably not tonight. I'll probably do tomorrow. I don't know. I've got ingredients that are necessary for the pasta sauce. I've got most of what I need somewhere in these boxes, which I haven't unpacked just yet. I gotta start unpacking more. It's just today has been rough because of yesterday. How busted I feel. Then, you know, like, both a deterrent, but also a form of encouragement. This is both good and bad in this way. I need to empty out all these boxes, basically, put stuff where they belong. You know, throw away what needs to really be thrown away. like, once I'm done, and this is where the deterrent slash incentive is that when I get to that point, I will effectively be settled in. And once I'm settled in, I think I'm probably going to have to wait until at least the first time I see my physical therapist, which I'm going to call up probably tomorrow. I was hopefully going to call them today. I don't even know when they're available. But, with all the moving and stuff, I just didn't want to answer the damn phone for any fucking reason. Also got my command hooks. They're pretty small, which is kind of what I wanted to go for in the first place. They're not big. They don't carry a whole lot of stuff. I don't know exactly what I'm going to hang. I don't even know where I'm going to hang stuff. I want to hang some stuff up here, but I don't know exactly what I would hang, because not everything I have could be hangable. Some things I would probably use frequently, like these little bad boys. I use them all the time. It'd be a good idea to hang them. Probably can't hang this because even though it's there, it's kind of on the heavier side. It would fit, so who knows? I could technically hang the dough hooks that I use. Where are you at? You're over here somewhere. I don't want to mess with you just yet because there's plates in the way. But I could probably hang the dough hooks as well. Like, the mixing attachments might be a good idea. That way they're just kind of there and ready to go. Maybe. I don't know. It's just a thought. Maybe hang this bad boy. It's a great little safety. Good thing it's plastic so it doesn't get, deformed easily. Can opener, safety opener. Very good tool. Very useful. Here's the attachment for the immersion blender. This is the immersion blender attachment for the mixer that I have. And mixer, it goes right here. Flip it open. Blip. And this trigger here, while normally is used to pop stuff out of the bottom, when you use this lock button here, it locks it, and then you use this as the trigger for the immersion blender. It's very handy, very interesting. This is the Cuisinart. Once this burns out, and if I have the money, I'm going to get the KitchenAid version. It's like $100, unfortunately. I'd like to get a KitchenAid stand mixer. The problem is where to put it, because I would want to put it and keep it where it is. Now, there is one thing that I could consider. Now, I don't have the money to do any of this. And even if I got the $750 card, which I need to get sometime, and I was gonna consider doing that today, but I've been waiting for this phone call all the time. Problem is those things are like $250, and people say, "Oh, just go online and check out the sale prices on like Craigslist." They're not fucking on sale. Nobody is selling a KitchenAid stand mixer in like functioning order for any reasonable price. It's just not happening. It doesn't exist. Now, on a different vein, I will say move those real quick. I will say the one good thing about hand washing is that it gets me more active for videos like this. Because when I was doing like dishwashers and stuff, I wasn't as active. I wasn't as productive when I was doing them. Here's the dough hooks now. they'd be able to hang up there, no problem. I am going to have to do laundry again very soon because I have a lot of these towels that have been used to help with my storage in one form or another. So, and I'm also this is my tiny whisk. I'm probably not going to buy anything else for quite some time, and I use it to mix my my yeast around. You know what I fucking forgot to do though? Fuck. Because I was so preoccupied with getting the yeast to bloom that once it did bloom, or at least once I thought it bloomed, and I guess it's just kind of the nature of this, I forgot to add salt. And one might say, why do you need salt in your bread? You can just put it on your bread. Yeah, but it's nice to have extra, you know, get that flavor balance around. But you know, it is what it is. It's just the first attempt, just to make sure that the yeast actually worked. So, you know, I can't beat myself up over it too much. I will, because of who I am. Is my AC on? It sounds like it's on. Yeah, okay. This down here, where it belongs. And my cooling rack does not fit in my oven, even though it's slightly smaller than the original rack, or the original half sheet pan. I can show you. So, like, not only does this fucking door. Not only does this half sheet pan have no purpose right now, same with the steel pan, because it's the same size. Now, I could cut this in half, but I'm not doing that. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I'll be using, I'll just let that sit there forever. And I'll use parchment paper from here until eternity, until I decide to leave this place or whatever. So, man, what I need to do now is make some space. Some olive oil in here. Still haven't put any olive oil in these bottles because I just put some vinegar and water down there. Tomorrow is because I got the vinegar, of course. If you have vinegar in your house, just buy one of these. Distilled white vinegar, you do not need anything other than something like this. It's just not necessary. No, just do yourself a service, buy a big ass bottle, keep it around a while. Now here's the, stainless steel scrubbies. Smart and Final, because I don't need anything special. I don't need the Scotch-Brite version that's expensive or whatever. And then the thing that I need to do here is, one, get my hands a little oiled up, so I'm going to take some from each. Okay, let's also move you guys. Probably should have done this in a different order, but whatever. I'm just trying to wing it, as it were. Now, figure out exactly how much I have and then separate, split. It'd be easier if the shit was cold, but it is what it is. See, last time, like when I started this video, this stuff was very different. All right, so we're looking at roughly 1170, huh? So, all right. Oh, there we go. All right, come on. Nice and sticky though. Oh wait, hold on, where are we at? 1180. All right. So 40 plus 550. 590. That's more than necessary. Well, actually, and then half of 590 is 250 plus another 345, which is 315. Come on, get off my hands. Fuck. I got it in my palm. Alright. 330. Alright, cool. That'll just be a little bigger than the typical one, that's all. Alright. Get that all nice and oiled up. Alright. Then we'll do. $5.90? I think it was supposed to be whatever. Fuck, I don't care right now. It's just so goddamn sticky. Just trying to. 571. So the 360. Just 720, which is way more. So yeah, let's take a little bit out here. See, there's that gluten development right there, baby. I don't know if you can see that, but. Side here. Alright, looking at 610 there. Fuck. Usually, see, like from now on, now that I know the yeast is good, at least I hope it is, it'll be easier to deal with this because usually when I just stick it in the fridge and when it's cold, it's a lot easier to work. Like a whole lot easier. 860. Even if I make it too small, that's fine. And I mean, like, none of this is gonna be bread. This is all pizza stuff anyway. So, if it was bread, I would just split it in half. Since I've had the pizza here, and because I want to see how good it's going to last, plus also, I may still make another whole ass thing of dough and then just let it sit for a while. Still make some fucking bread tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know. Probably won't, but you know, it's whatever. But you know, it's the messiness of the first one. You're done. Yeah, it's a little small, but that's fine. I don't care. Just glad to be able to do this, even if it's still obnoxious. Because I'll get better at it again, like I used to. I'll find the pattern. Find a methodology. It's like one of the things I would do, because I think I have 5 of these, and I just don't know where they all are. I might be wrong, though. I think, but not therefore I am in that situation. You know, is Descartes that said that? I don't know. God damn, this water is now hot for some reason. I swear, this water is more bipolar than my family. But, and that is the issue of dealing with room temperature dough, though. So, you know, it's on me. I'm check my time. still running. I'm mostly checking to see if the battery's going to die, because literally yesterday I had like 3% when I turned off the camera. Because my cables are just kind of on the loose side. And so, while I had it plugged into that outlet, it really wasn't actually charging. But it's whatever. I have the internet turned off so that it doesn't do anything. Also have it in airplane mode, technically. So if somebody is trying to call me, they're getting my voicemail. Whatever. It's after 5. I don't expect to be getting anything from anybody today. I could be wrong, but I think I usually put them in these sized for the pizzas, but I could be wrong. Right now, I'm just going to keep them in the big ones. See what happens, and move from there. I do still wish I had a dishwasher, though, because all of this would have been significantly easier, and also it would make it to where things are more likely to get clean. Because I don't really trust myself that well. But it is what it is. I can't do anything about that at the moment. I could get like a countertop dishwasher or something, but I don't know how well that would work. I don't even know if I could do that based on like the necessity of like attachments and stuff. Just throw these back in there. Put my butter back here because it belongs up front. I'll put the other butter back there though. Yeah, I think spare butter right there. There we go. There we go. Now we have everything in there. So I'm pretty certain, I want to say about 80% certain that whenever I would split it up like that into 4s, actually, hell, let's just get ready to make another set. Because I've got that bowl, but I also have that mixing bowl too. So this is the one I use to heat up the water in, and I'm going to do that again, so I'm forgetting. 500 grams. It doesn't have a lid, unfortunately. If it had a lid, that would be even better. Ooh, close. 504 is good enough. Could be slightly hydrated. Put some more water in here. There's some things like coffee, for instance. Unless your water is literally just bad and you should not be drinking it in the first place. There's a great SciShow video, and if I remember, I'll try to put that on there too. So now I got a Hank Green video about getting good poops, and a SciShow video. The main issue is where am I going to put that motherfucker when I'm ready? But just put it in here for like a minute and then see. But yeah, there's a SciShow video that talks about when you make coffee or tea, something about the minerality of the water makes it better. I don't know if it's better flavor or if it's also like healthier or something like that. I can't remember if like you're potentially degrading the quality and or healthiness of it by using filtered water. Again, I don't remember the exact details. What I do remember though is that putting milk in it also degrades whatever like antioxidant qualities and stuff like of tea. It's like putting milk in your tea basically ruins the health qualities of it. So that's fun. the one thing the one problem I had with the little bag, is a goddamn door lock, so you literally have to unlock the door in order to open it. That's still of cold-ish temperature, so let's put it up to 30. Yeah, something about the antioxidants or whatever, the whole process gets ruined if you put milk in it. But what I was actually talking about was the yeast that came in, and this is not what it originally came in. Clean this bad boy out, put the yeast in here. It's good to go in your fridge. It's fine in there. I think you can even freeze it. It came in like a vacuum sealed bag, which is great and all, but temperature can still ruin that. You know what it didn't do? When I hit the stop button, it didn't have a beep when I hit the stop button. Okay, it's nice and warm now. It's not even hot. Stir it around. Equilibrate that temperature. Again, it's not exactly hot. My thermostat is a little hotter than body temp. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to throw in some oil. And I'll put in some of that salt. Teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of sugar, teaspoon of yeast. Teaspoon of salt helps flavor it. Sugar helps to give something to the yeast to eat. I try to put them in that order to mitigate the things that you don't want in yeast. So I'm using the same spoon. Now, obviously, the yeast being over there, with the salt and the oil, those things can kind of impede the yeast from meeting up with the sugar, as it were. But in a way, that's also what I want. I want it to be more of a slow rise. I want it to be less active, because I am trying. Ooh, it smells good though. It smells like yeast. One thing I should get is some Marmite or Vegemite. I think it's Marmite. That's just basically the yeast extract. I never remember. One thing I'll do here this time around is I will use my now clean cutting board to cover that up. I have not yet found my kitchen timer because I haven't dug through everything yet. My kitchen timer has a little magnet on it and a button battery in it. It makes it basically last forever. I can use the timer on my computer though. Now, admittedly, in addition to me getting my ass kicked, what the hell? I don't want to do that. In addition to getting my ass kicked yesterday for moving, hang on a second. I'm trying to find something to sit on because I want to sit on while I'm in front of the camera this time right now because I want to sit down because my ass has been kicked. Let's sit on a chair like a cool teacher. My ass feels better by sitting. I definitely need to start working out though. It was something I recognized when I was still in this homeless shelter, but I can use the timer on my computer, but the old timer went away for some reason. And then this new one, whenever I open it up after I download, because this is basically the same exact program. Whenever I open it up, it wants me to fucking sign into Microsoft. And I'm like, fuck you. Bullshit ass. Ain't doing that shit. But around this time last year was when I was like finding myself having more and more back and, hip problems than typical. And so I was like trying to figure out a way to mitigate that. And so around April-ish, I got a chair, or actually it was around this time, I think about it, got a chair and table shipped to me. And then I had to deal with the way that the homeless shelter was, like responding to it and everything. They didn't let me have a chair, the chair that I wanted, and they put it in a storage for fucking ever. And so I kept stealing their chairs, and they were finally they were sick of my shit. And I was like, well, just let me have my chair that I bought and paid for, that nobody has let me actually construct to show them that it is of okay size. And it was smaller than the chairs I was stealing from them. And then that chair broke because it was flimsy as fuck. And then I bought another chair, and then that one broke because it was flimsy as fuck. So I just kept stealing their chairs again until, I moved out. But throughout that time, I noticed more and more, even if I was sitting on my ass the same amount of time, my ass hurt more. It's like, well, that just means my muscles are atrophying, probably. I'm getting older, I'm not doing anything to increase muscle mass, so, my proprioception, my ability to experience myself, is reasonably capable, so I just have to figure that out. I mean, yesterday obviously was an indicator. Hey, I'm pretty fucking wore out today, in addition to. But on top of that, I've also had a little bit to drink because I've got, the big ass bottle of booze that I bought so that I could make the eggnog. And I put more eggnog into it than I should, or more booze into the eggnog. But it's whatever. Still don't have any milk. I don't have any more whipping cream, but I'm still trying to work on like getting all the other sort of staples. So every time, I'll get the phone out when I'm on my way. I will go into Instacart because I have Instacart loaded up with like everything I would have bought. I was hoping to buy a funnel yesterday when I was there. They only had like this 3-stack of these like silicone like collapsible funnels, and I'm like, I don't need that. I just need a normal ass funnel that I can pour shit into. Yeah, collapsible makes it easier to store or whatever, but it's also the silicone, so like it has more friction generally. So like the stuff you pour into, especially if it's more like powdered or if it's like ground coffee, it's gonna start to like collect and stain. Whereas with just like a Winco plastic ass funnel, which I can buy on Amazon for like $6. But I wanted to buy the Smart and Final one that was apparently available, but I couldn't find that motherfucker anywhere. It was only like $4. I'd like to save money. Once I get this card, I could get, the whittling kit, I could get the coffee, the cold brew kit, get a new thermometer because the one that I have is just stupid and busted, and it's been stupid and busted since I got it, basically. And yeah, today has been, I laid in bed for like 4 more hours after my original alarm went off. Like, I wasn't really able to sleep because I was just still waiting for the phone call. And then I finally got out of this bed, went downstairs and got my yeast and hooks. And obviously it took a while for the yeast because I didn't just think to microwave it in this bowl like this time around. About 5 more minutes on that. Had me some more pizza. I got 3 slices left. So what I'm going to do, probably starting tomorrow, is I got my pot and pan somewhere around here. Mostly the pot, the big pot that I have, that's like a 4-quart or something like that. I've used it for so much stuff. I've used it to make pâte à choux dough. I've made it to use marinara. I've made it to use to make cream corn to make lemon and vanilla curds. I made it to use all kinds of shit. It's aluminum, so it's not stainless steel, so it wouldn't work on like, you know, I use it to boil eggs, but it wouldn't work on like an induction stove. But it's a little beast of a badass, so I'm just going to keep it for as long as possible. It is on the bigger side, so it's going to be interesting cleaning. I mean, I can pull it off, it's not a problem, but it's just going to be more bulky, is all. But, and that's one of the things too, like when I start cooking, you know, one of two things starts to pile up: the dirty dishes or the clean dishes. It's never the clean, but when I mean clean, they're just cleaned. They're not cleaned and put in their place. They pile up into basically the drying area. So, and one thing also that I've been like, so I was talking about backache, pain, stuff. Oh, okay, I covered that. One other thing that I've been recognizing throughout most of my time being homeless, throughout most of my time in Los Angeles, is that my feet are fucked. So at some point, I'm going to have to show my doctor and be like, I'm going to need a podiatrist. We're going to probably have to take care of this in a medical fashion. But before I do that, I've got it says it's like a dish tub, but I bought it specifically as a foot soaking tub. And so when that comes, then I will hit up the store and I'll get some Epsom salt. At least it tends to make it feel better, because Epsom salt is usually used in a lot of your like soaking, like person soaking, you know, like most bath bombs, bath salts and stuff have it. And you know, it's not gonna heal you of your ailments, but it can help mitigate symptoms. And you know, it's like, I got dry ass feet. Well, dry ass feet helps with, you know, lotion is better for that, but it can also just kind of get in there and kind of semi-clean areas that maybe aren't getting the cleanliness that they need from the shower or whatever. Can help mitigate stuff like athlete's foot, but if you already have athlete's foot, it's probably not going to do much. You're probably going to need the medication for it, you know, because it's a yeast. It's a fungal infection. And so, you know, it's just like trying to take care of these things. It's like your feet are important. Got to get you around. And, you know, you don't want to get like having cracked feet is not good, because then you could get infections, stuff like that. And with the amount of walking that I'm doing, I mean, I'm doing significantly more walking than I have in the last several months. So that's good at least, because I walk like, it's like a 5-minute walk, if that. But if you count from like literally right here to the elevator, into the elevator, down, around, out the gate, you know, out the front door, out the gate, then to the bus stop, that's easily 5 minutes, and then of walking. And then it's like, get on the bus. Once I'm off the bus, then it's like another 8-10 minutes. So it's about 15 minutes of walking each way, before and after I get the groceries, not including the amount of walking I'm doing while I'm doing the grocery shopping. And since I don't know this store super well, I'm already starting to get the hang of it, because I've been there like 5 times now, because I've been here a week now. And literally the day that I got here, I went to the Smart Final. I went there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I had no money, no food stamps left over. And so I went back yesterday for the first time. So 5 days, technically. 4 days, sorry. Yeah. Whatever, I can't think straight. Instead of chugging booze, I will chug some soda pops. Yes, I know it's like good candy. Yes, I know it's Coca-Cola, and they're fucking evil. There's no ethical consumption under capitalism. I forgot to do the thing that I should have done. So another thing that I would like to do, you know, I think I'm more or less done talking about the walking to the store and all that shit. But the thing that I wanted to talk about, I think it's done, or it's ready to check anyway. Let's see. Yep. off a little bit. From now on, when I start these, I'm going to try my best. I may forget. In fact, let me get a pen. That one's not going to work because the thing's not functional. There we go. I write it down, maybe it'll help. So let's go to the back ass end of this collection. Where's the wooden? There's always like the, what? There we go. Now I see it. So let's take the last one. When I start these videos, I'm going to try my best to basically, say, Hopefulness 3.0 and the date. And then the first thing I need to say after that is, pay your people better. I just spelled people, P-E-O-P-E-L, but whatever. Yeah, I need to at least hang that up there for now, or rather put it up there for now. That way, at the very least, people know, and it's not necessarily specifically for me. It's not like, hey, I'm one of the good guys kind of, mentality. It's more about the reminder to anybody who happens to watch this. God damn it, what the hell? How are you fucked now? You've been fine this whole time. Now you don't want to fucking stick to the door. And stay. You don't want to position yourself. Okay. It's not exactly the best way of doing it anyway. It was a reminder not only to anybody who happens to be watching. Oh yeah, here we go. See, this is what we're looking for. It's good that I had it up and tempt the way that it was. Because look at that bubbling. Look at that bubbling. All that bubbling is yeast farts. Alright, let's get you back into a stable-ish position. Alright. On in the yeast farts. Much better in my last batch, but again, the first batch was just a test. I was not sure if it was going to work at all. And I have my AP flour and my bread flour, and I have them, like, I used to have stickers on here, now it's just like permanent marker. Fuck it. I don't care enough. Otherwise, we're just going to do it this way. I mean, soon enough, I'm going to have to go back to the store and get some more AP flour. But the good thing is it's cheap. It's like $3 for 5 pounds. So it's 500 AP flour, at least the current construction is. This version, where it's just AP flour and just bread flour, is 500 grams of AP flour, 250 grams of bread flour. Bread flour has more protein in it, which then creates more gluten, which creates the springiness and all that shit. But it's also more expensive. $7 for a bag of that. Because really, it's hard to find cheap bread flour, and you generally don't want cheap bread flour. And I'm buying King Arthur flour. And since that's a community share, you know, it's a employees share profits, I'm willing to pay for it. Because, you know, pay your employees better. Alright, I'm giving it 700, so it's a little bit loose. Now we're at 700, 725. Now that I'm after 740. 743. Get a little bit loosey-goosey with the, rather, more, not so much loosey-goosey, it's not really the right word. More finesse. I mean, I've also made bread with just beef flour, and it's perfectly fine. Like, it's not necessary to use bread flour to make bread if you don't have, you know, the money or the inclination or whatever. Like, if you've only got the ability to store, you know, if you're not in a position to have both AP and bread flour, you know, no big deal. I mean, it's a big deal because you're not getting paid well. I guess I could have used these little bad boys, but whatever. It is what it is. And this is the one thing, like, I'm definitely probably going to hang these guys up because they just do that. They get hooked on this shit so easily. It's very frustrating. But yeah, you can do bread flour, no problem. I'll tell you this, though. Always, like, if you can find it at your store, and most stores should have it, don't buy the little packages of active dry yeast. That is the most expensive version of yeast you're finding. If you can find a 1 pound bag like what I did on Amazon, the one that I bought is also food stamp available. Fleischmann's is also generally food stamp available. You can buy the little jar, it's like 4 ounces, I think. That will still last you quite a while. If you know you're going to be cooking bread frequently, get the 1 pound bag, stick it in your fridge. Because you will save yourself a lot of headache regarding, you know, not only the cost of the yeast, but also just the bulk of it. Because those little 2 pound packs just ain't worth it. Or $2 packs is like 3. Like, I'm paying pennies for each of the little teaspoons of yeast that I've got in here, so. Just put a little bit of that in there, and that, and that. Now the hot water's hot again. Look, this shit. God damn it. So fucking frustrating. It's nice to have hot water. It's just that when it's so finicky, that's when it's a problem. Alright. Almost done the bread making, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a little bit of this press and seal on here. Hopefully it'll still work. It should. I made a little well inside. That way, you know, it just kind of has a better chance to hydrate more of it in one go. And I've found the best way to do this is usually just a back and forth motion with the mixer, and then turn bowl. Keep the beaters on low so they have better torque, and also so they don't fling flour everywhere. It takes a little while, but at least I'm not doing it by hand. There's a reason why I'm not doing it in my hand, because I'm right-handed dominant and my shoulder's still fucked. I don't know how long that will be like that. Once I start talking to the physical therapist, I might have a better chance of understanding these things. I probably won't be able to get in a meeting next week, but whatever, because I've mostly forgotten and also kind of put it off. And not because I'm afraid or anything, mostly just because I'm like, I'm doing so much other shit. I'm moving. Trying to restart my life. Trying to think about what to cook next, what to prepare, what I gotta clean. And see, it's already a nice little shaggy dough so far. I haven't really been thinking about it. I've been talking more than thinking. This is pretty typical. That like you'll get to this point where there's a lot of these dry spots. I just kind of let the dough do the scraping for the most part. I'll get a little bit of hook around like that, and then I'll move it near the dry spots and let it basically scrape up the little dry stuff. Work smarter, not harder, as they say. Right? Don't hurt yourself. Put a little effort into it, obviously, because it still, requires a little bit of strength to move this thing around and move this through the now very thick dough. But let the machine do most of the work. Prevent yourself from getting injured or furthering a problem, an injury that you may already have. Now, people might think, if you ever look at those infomercials and they're like, why would you need something that cracks an egg open like that with one hand? Who fucking needs that stupid shit? Just crack an egg the normal way. Well, maybe a person with one fucking hand. Maybe a person with literally just one hand is incapable of cracking an egg with one hand, so they can just open the thing up, put the egg in there, and then do the cracky thingy, and it splits it without creating eggshells everywhere. Maybe that's the person that needs it. But instead of it being, a medical device, which requires, significant financial backing because of all of the admittedly necessary medical requirements in order for it to be put up on the market as a medical device, they're like, well, let's just make it available for everybody. Let's make it look like, somebody who's just bad at cracking eggs exists. And we'll market it to that person. But the reality is we're marketing it to people who have disabilities. That goes back to a previous video, I'm pretty sure, where I was talking about universal design. Make those universal designs. Get those things for people who need them. Oh yeah, and there's going to be some asshole out there like, survival of the fittest. If you can't crack an egg open all by yourself, and you starve to death because of it, then you don't belong on planet Earth. Like, nope, you're the one who doesn't fucking belong on planet Earth, jackass. I used to be that guy. And you could say, well, since you were that guy before, shouldn't you just give that guy another chance? I'll give him one chance by educating him. And because I'm the kind of guy who does take education important, when somebody really shows me a good reason for something, like, oh hey, maybe there is a reason for a one-handed egg cracking device, then, if that other person is akin to me, they will listen and they will learn. ideally. If they don't, well, they fuck right off. Because they didn't learn. Which means they probably also didn't listen. Because what's also likely happening around that... What the fuck? Come on, man. The blade on this thing is shit. It's not even... It's the only problem with these types of things. Oh, well. Get this out of the way so I can only see this torque. There we go. If a person like that exists in this world, there's also a really good chance that they have other ideas in mind that are a lot more harmful. And right now, that's a really bad fucking thing. So we need less of that type of behavior. And so, yeah, educate. But if they make no attempt to be educated, then they need to be exiled. Have fun. Also pay people more.